Okay, I'm sure we've all heard about this news story by now because there were so many reports on it in real time. So the initial headline early in the week was Titanic tourist submersible goes missing with search underway. So this sub had a whole CEO on it, the CEO of Ocean Gates Expedition. And at the time it went missing, it had 40 hours of oxygen supply left and was carrying 5 people. The submersible is part of an Ocean Gate expedition tour that offers passengers a once-in-a-lifetime experience to explore the Titanic wreckage. It went missing Sunday after it's lost contact with the research vessel Polar Prince. And
we know how it ended.
It is the search is over. It's confirmed that they did not survive. That's why my eyes widened at once in a lifetime. So because I was like, who wrote that? Because it really was once in a lifetime.
It really was.
But yeah, debris was recovered from the sub named Titan, and it is thought to have imploded not long after its dive, killing all 5 crew members instantaneously. So now an investigation is underway about the sub's design, its safety standards, and the lack of certification. So
interesting.
Yes.
I mean, I can't speak to that too much. I'm no expert on submarines and whatnot, but we know that Baba Yanun spoke about the Titanic quite some years ago and explained what really happened there. So we have a unique perspective on that. And just to sum it up quickly, they were taking things that did not belong to them. And so Baba Yanun explained, they took artifacts, tombs from ancient Egypt to obviously bring them to Europe and display them in whatever way, with no regard, no respect, no consideration. And so the ancestors, the forces, responded, whatever name you want to call them, responded and said, no, you're not getting away with that. That doesn't belong to you. You can't just keep going in and raiding tombs or raiding artifacts and taking them for your own benefits without any regard for where they come from, who they are, what it means culturally or ancestrally, so on and so forth. So so the Titanic was sunk, and it was an interesting one because obviously the Titanic was famously supposed to be unsinkable, wasn't it? And it sunk and everything went wrong. I think they sent out a distress signal and whoever was supposed to receive the signal was asleep. So everything went wrong on that particular day leading to that moment. So if I was them, I would just leave it alone.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That wreckage.
If I was there, I'd be like,
But you know what the wildest thing was? The internet. The internet doesn't care. They were updating the count of the Titanic wreckage. Added 5 more people to it. I was like, wow.
It's wild. Wow. The internet has no sense of, you know what? Let's give it a couple of weeks. It was whilst it was happening.
Whilst it was happening, I was seeing
memes, jokes,
and I'm like, the controller for the sub. Did you see that? I was like, is that real? It looked like some PlayStation remote.
Yeah, I saw that picture and I was like, surely not.
Apparently.
Surely not. But, the internet didn't hold back. I'm just saying, I would just leave it alone. You know who's really benefiting of this? Netflix.
Netflix, for sure. I was about to say, they put Titanic back on there like, if you all want to watch it again.
Unrelated news.
Unrelated.
Titanic is coming back to Netflix, so $10.99 a month or whatever it is, and you can watch this movie. Unrelated. So
no shame.
No shame. That was, but the day after, I'm sure it was the day after it was confirmed that these people had passed, Netflix were like, Titanic is back July 1st or whenever it is. And I was like, really? You guys couldn't
wait a bit, a bit more tasteful.
Yeah.
But you go to the depths of the ocean as well. You don't know what you're about to run into. So there's that as well.
And they know, they only know a small percentage of what the ocean actually carries. So if you're dealing with an area that you don't know about, just leave it alone, just be careful. Just be more mindful.
Some beings down there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And Baba Yanun has explained our ancestors come from the oceans. So you could be dealing with any amount of beings who are down there and you really don't know what happened, which beings saw them, was like, now, was there some sort of interaction? We really don't know. We really don't know. All I'm saying is I would leave it alone. At that point, I'd be like, okay, we know what happened originally. Let's just leave that alone. But yeah, it's wild. I think it's wild when money has to be made. Money has to be made and Netflix will not hang it about. I just think that's a bit wild.
In other news, The USDA, which is the US Department of Agriculture, approves first lab-grown meat to be sold to the public. The final approval comes after the US Food and Drugs Administration, FDA, issued a no questions response to Good Meat in March of this year, marking the company's lab-grown chicken products safe to eat. Another company called Upside Foods received a similar approval in November 2022. This lab-grown meat is produced in large steel tanks using animal cell manipulation.
Right. So what cloning? We're talking about cloning.
We're talking about some sort of cell manipulation.
Yeah,
we're talking about lab-grown food is what we're talking about.
I mean, to be honest, I've always had my suspicions. I've looked at the volume at which the human species consumes meat and weighed it up against the amount of animals. And, I've always struggled with those numbers. So I've always wondered. I guess now,
Now there's just being open with it. So no doubt other countries are to follow. Like, we're growing your food in a lab. I think they've already approved it for sale in certain restaurants within America. So
there you go. So
there you go.
That's the way the world is going. We know that we had to be careful with our food anyway, with what we're consuming, where we're consuming it from. We need to get into a position where, to be honest, we control our own food.
We're doing our own food production.
To a full degree, which we spoke about. Actually, recently we spoke about the systems that we're all plugged into. One of them is the agriculture, the food system. We need to control our food because we've been getting poisoned anyway in all different ways. For many years. Yeah. So, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, what can I say? It's just out there in the open now, isn't it?
They're being straight with it.